Hello and welcome to a new video from Warric. It's been a while, but I had to make this video. Now before I start, this is not a hate video on Microsoft, but as I said in my previous videos, regardless if it's Sony or Microsoft, I will shout them out if I think they are doing wrong with the consumer. Now, we've seen the Xbox showcase yesterday, and quite frankly I was hoping that we was going to see the next gen, but I watched it all the way through. I'm not gonna highlight it, but the way I see it is this. Alright, Halo Infinite, good game, but graphically to me the game looks no better than Halo 5. And this is what my problem is with against the Xbox Series X against the PlayStation 5, is because we know from Sony that all PS5 games, right, won't be, and I will quote that again, won't be ported down to the PS4 or PS4 or PS4 Pro or PS4. They will not be ported down to them. When you buy a PS5 game, you have to have a PS5 to play it on. Simple. But you can't say that with the Xbox Series X, because we did see Halo Infinite. It was good, just like I would expect a Halo game to be, but it did not look next gen to me. But I can fully understand that, because the developers are having their hands tied, because they have to make sure that the game runs on the Xbox One X, the Xbox One S, and they're probably going to be making it as well for the new Xbox Series S that's coming out later in the year. But my problem is this, is they've discontinued now the Xbox One X, my console. It's a great console that came out 2 years ago. Why? Is it because Microsoft think everybody's going to go out and buy a Series X? Well, that's not going to happen, except for the elite Xbox fanboys who will buy it regardless. I'm going to talk to you now, right? You have not got any exclusive games to take in consideration the power of your machine. Every time a game is made, and this is it looks better on the Series X, it will look better, but it could look a damn sight better if it was exclusive to the Series X. With the PS5, we know what the PS5 is capable of. We've seen the tech demo. We haven't seen any kind of demo like that from the Xbox, and this is why I'm very sad for Xbox fans who are going to go out and buy a day one Xbox Series X. Why? You are not going to see the full potential of that console for at least 2 to 3 years. We did see a glimpse of Fable, the new game, the new trailer, and that's meant to be exclusive to Series X and PC, which is good. But we don't know when that's got a release date. That could be out 2-3 years time. So you're buying an Xbox day one, Series X. To me, it's all to do with bragging rights. Now, every time I used to have a console, like a new PS3 or new PS4, I had the bragging rights knowing that the games coming to that machine wasn't going to be on the previous platform. But this is what the problem is. Don't leave no one behind. Isn't that Microsoft's new motto? Don't leave anybody behind. That's all well and good if you're staying on the Xbox One S, the Xbox One X. Because I'm happy because I like to thank Microsoft for saving me £500, because now I don't have to worry about buying a new console, because all the games that's on it are going to be on my console. Well, at least until the likes of Fable comes out. But by that time, in 2 years, 3 years time, the price of the Xbox Series X would have gone down dramatically. So I know now that when I buy a PlayStation 5, Sony's actually stated this, all PlayStation 5 games, right, will not be ported down to a PS4 Pro and will not be ported down to a PS4. You will get the likes of The Last of Us Part 2 being upscaled for the PS5, yes, But if you want to play a PS5 game, you have to have a PS5. You can't say that about the Xbox, right? Because every game is going to be playable on all the family of consoles. This is Microsoft's new thing. Now, I said about this a few videos back about, how's that going to impact on somebody who buys a brand new, most powerfulest console in the world in hardware. It's not going to be pushed. It's not going to be pushed, because it doesn't matter if they upscale the resolution into 4K 120 frames per second hertz. That doesn't matter. They are still relying on the base canvas, because they have to make sure that engine will run on the Xbox One X or the Xbox One S, and the new, if it comes about, the new Xbox Series X. So all the people who's on the last gen consoles of Xbox, they're laughing. Game Pass is amazing. But what Microsoft to me have done, they have dropped the ball, because they have not made any exclusives, and I mean proper exclusive games for the Xbox Series X. When I was growing up, right, I used to buy the new console, and my friends that was on the previous console, you say, "Oh, you're lucky, you get to play all the games on the new console." Well, I say, what you have to do is you have to buy the new machine to play them. And the thing is, what is Microsoft doing? They're here to try and promote the sale of Series X. To me, they're actually stopping the sale of the Series X, because you don't have to upgrade. Because if you've got an Xbox One X or an Xbox One S, fair enough the games are going to be in 1080p and 30 frames per second on the Xbox One X, but that's good enough for me. I stream at that anyway. The problem with me is, anybody that's going to fork out £500 or $600 for the new Xbox Series X, what are you getting for your money? You are getting high resolution games of Xbox One X and Xbox One S titles. You're not getting a pure next gen title. It's not happening. I know games like Hellblade and look good, but you just think, if Hellblade was an Xbox Series X only game, how much more they could push that console. I mean, you got 3 terabytes more than the PS5, but at the present time, the PlayStation 5 is trouncing the Xbox Series X, because every title that's on the PS5 is exclusive to that machine. I know it's going to upset a lot of people, because they say, "Oh, I can't afford to buy the new Series X." Right? That's all well and good, but that's life. That's life. If you want the best, you have to pay for it. And the problem is, the people who go out and buy the Xbox Series X are being penalised and punished for having all this brand new hardware, so they're limiting the hardware so other people on the previous consoles can play their games. And I don't think that's right. So I say this to all you Xbox Series X day one owners. Why are you buying that machine? Because you have got no exclusives for it. The developers are being, they're not allowed to push that console to its limits. So, in effect, why are you buying it? There's no reason to buy it. Yes, you will be able to play the games at 4K, and probably some of them at 120 frames per second, but it's still the same game as what's on the Xbox One X, the Xbox One S, even the original Xbox in some cases. Now, this is not a hate video on Microsoft. It's just thinking, well, if I'm going to purchase the new Xbox Series X, what am I getting for my money? What am I getting for my money? And it's the same with the Xbox One X, and one I've got here. That's been out 2 years. It's never been pushed. It's never had, it's never pushed it to the limit, that console. And now it's been discontinued 2 years after I've purchased it. Well, I feel cheated. I feel cheated. And now we're going to buy another console, the Xbox Series X, which is not going to be pushed either. Not at least for another couple of years, until you get the likes of Fable and other games which are meant to be Xbox Series X exclusive. But tell you the truth, I don't think they will be. They will be optimised for Xbox Series X, but and they may come on the Xbox Series X first. But they will be on the Xbox One X. They will be on the Xbox One S, probably at a later date. I reckon this so-called exclusive games like Fable are only timed exclusive because Microsoft does not want to leave anybody behind. I'm sorry, if you want in this day and age, if you want to play the best games, you need the best machine. And the people who got the best machine shouldn't have to be punished by having a lesser game because they want to scale it down to fit on the lesser machines. And that's the way I feel about it. At least you know where you stand with Sony. Sony says if you buy a PS5, you will get PS5 games, and they will push the limit of the PS5. You can't say that about the Xbox Series X, for the simple reason, yes, they will upscale the game a bit more than what's on the Xbox One X, but they still have limitations. They can't push it as much as they want to because they would know it would not run on the Xbox One X or lesser machines below that. So I'm sorry, Microsoft, you have lost this generation before it's even started. Sony has got it in the bag because they are giving people what they want. They were giving people the next gen. You have got the machine to give the next gen. You have got the power, but you're not going to use it. You're going to make sure that everybody can play games on all your consoles, all your family of consoles. And that's all well and good for people who don't intend to buy the Series X. And I'll say again, thank you. That means I've saved £500 because now I can say that I can now spend that money on PS5 games, which are true next gen. So I'm saying this now to the Xbox fanboys who will buy the Series X, regardless of what I say. You buy it, but remember this. The full potential of that machine is not going to be realised for the next 2 or 3 years. Just like it is on the Xbox One X at the moment. That never got pushed. And never will do now. So all I say is, Microsoft, I know you're trying to look after your fan base, but don't discriminate against the people who have got the money to buy these new machines, buy this new console. Don't hold them back just because you want to keep the people who don't want to buy the Series X happy. If you're bringing out a new machine, bring out some exclusive titles for it. Push the limits of the Series X. Let's see it. Let's see it in action. Let's see the next gen. You're touting the Xbox's next gen, but at the moment it isn't. It will be the best version of all the games available, yes, but it could be pushed so much further if you would make the games on the Series X exclusive to only the Series X. At least I know with Sony, when I buy a PS5, the PS5 games that are on it are going to be pushed to the limits of the machine or near it or very near. I can't say the same thing about Xbox Series X. It's a good machine, and if it's anything like the Xbox One X, it will be quiet as a mouse, no fan noise and nothing. But please, Microsoft, for the people who are going to purchase the Xbox Series X, make something just for them, not for everybody else. Ditch the don't leave behind, nobody gets left behind motto, because I tell you something, if you keep that motto, you are going to you will stay in third position for this gen. When I say third position, I mean it, because you got Sony, Nintendo, then Xbox. Xbox has never been second, it's been third. So come on, Sony, come on, Microsoft. Do something for your fans. I know it's going to upset some people, but make some games that are exclusive to the Series X. And I don't want to see them games in 2 or 3 years time. We want to see them games beginning of next year. If they say Fable is coming out beginning of next year, fine. But if it says 2 or 3 years before we got a pure Series X exclusive, you have lost this gen before it even starts. Now, this is, like I said, this is not to have a go at Microsoft, but this is just stating what I see. I would do exactly the same thing if it had been Sony. But at the present time, Sony PS5 is the next gen. The Xbox Series X has got the power to be the next gen, but I'm afraid to say it's not going to have the software for at least a couple of years to actually show you what next gen is, and that's the problem. So everybody on the Xbox One X, Xbox One S, keep playing your games on Game Pass, keep happy. But I say to the people on the Xbox Series X, if you enjoy the console, fine. I hope you enjoy what you get, but your console could be so much more and so much better than what it is, because the console has got the power, but Microsoft will not unleash the power of the Series X, because if it does, it means the rest of the consoles previous will not be able to run the game. That's the reason why you're going to have to put up with toned down games for at least a couple of years. So I know I'm going to get a lot of hate comments in the comment section. This is not to have a go at the people of Microsoft. This is not to have a go at the Xbox Series X. It is a great machine, but I'm afraid that Microsoft is determined to hold it back and not produce any next gen proper exclusive titles for it for at least a couple of years. But Sony is going to have exclusive titles day one. So if you do watch this video, Microsoft, heed what I say. Make some exclusive titles only for the Series X. Then you may redeem yourself. But if you don't, there will be lots of Microsoft fans that will love the Xbox Series X. But I'm just saying to them people, you're going to have to wait a long time for a full exclusive title harnessing the power of the Series X on your machine. So I hope you can wait long enough, because you will have to wait, because Halo Infinite, it looks good, but to me it's a PS5 graphical game. That's what it looks like. Games like Forza, they will look good. Obsidian, that's the company that's making a new game, that looks good. I'm not going to go on too much about the showcase, but there was no wow factors in that showcase conference. There was no wow factors. I mean, when I buy a next gen title, I want to go, wow, that looks awesome. But there's nothing there. Halo did not look awesome. Halo just looked like a normal Halo game on the graphical tech of a Halo 5 game. In fact, tell you the truth, I thought Halo 5 looked better. I'm sorry to be slating it, but that's what I see. We've got to have some titles that you can only play on an Xbox Series X. And that's all I'm going to say on the matter. I'm sorry if you don't agree with what I say, but I think the consumer who wants to pay that kind of money out, £500 or $600, deserves to have games that actually push their platform. Because at the present time, until Fable and other games come out, you're not going to have games that's going to push your hardware. So to me, is it worth buying an Xbox Series X? Well, not straight away, because you're not going to have anything that's going to push the platform. So until the next video, I hope it's going to be a happier video, and I hope you've enjoyed this little video, this little rant by Warric about the Xbox Series X, with no next gen exclusive titles for at least a couple of years. But if you're determined to buy one, I hope you enjoy it. But all I say is this: PlayStation 5 games are next gen because they are built from the ground up for that console and for that console only. With Xbox Series X, they are built the games so they can be made for all of the previous consoles as well. So they're not built for that ground up for that machine. So I hope you enjoy your Xbox Series X. I will enjoy my PlayStation 5, I will say that. But we will see what happens. I'm hoping Microsoft do come out with some exclusive titles for the Xbox Series X. And please, the people who are now buying into the next gen. And for everybody else who's playing these games on the Xbox One X or Xbox S, I hope you have a good game and enjoy your Game Pass. Still the best thing Microsoft has ever done. I just wish they would have thought more into making some exclusive titles only for the Series X, and that would definitely push people to buy their next gen console, because at the moment, to me, they're not pushing people to buy the Series X. They're making it so people actually stay on the same consoles they're on now, the Xbox One X or the Xbox One S, because there's no reason to upgrade, because there's no game that's going to push the hardware to make it look even better than it should do. So until the next video, I hope you've enjoyed this. Please like, comment and share the video out. Dislike it if you want to dislike it, but remember, I'm hard but I'm fair. If Sony would have done the same thing, I would have been at Sony the same. But I'm just pointing out what Microsoft is doing. It's their new platform, Game Pass, to share the games all over the family of consoles. But I'm only defending the Xbox Series X people, because I think they deserve some exclusive titles if they're going to shell out that kind of money for a next gen machine and not be able to use the power of that machine, because Microsoft has to tone down the game so it would run on previous consoles, the Xbox One X or Xbox One S. Because if they was to push it to the limit, it was just them consoles just wouldn't be able to run the top games. They won't be able to do it. So please, Microsoft, listen to your fans. Make some exclusive titles. Yes, you will upset some people who can't play a particular game on the Series X, but won't that force them people to buy Series X? That's the idea behind Sony's platform. Now, I've got a PS4 Pro and a PS4, right? But when I found out about the PS5, I know if I want to play the PlayStation 5 games, I'm going to have to buy a PlayStation 5, because the games are not going to be on the Pro. The games are not going to be on the PS4. But the problem is now, is everybody on the Xbox One X and the Xbox One S know that 95% of the games are going to be playable on their old consoles. So they're happy. But the people who buy the next gen, to me, I'm sorry, they ain't getting what they paid for. So until the next video, this is Warric signing off, and I hope that you enjoyed the video. If you've got any comments or any comments in the comment section, leave them below the video. If you want to ask me any questions about why I feel like this, put the questions below in the video. But all I say is this: I'm a big supporter of Microsoft. I've got a Microsoft. I've got an Xbox One X. I've got Game Pass. I love it. But if you're going to have a next gen console, please have some exclusive games so the developers can push that console to its full potential and let it shine. But at the moment, Microsoft, to me, you are holding that console back, because you have to put the games that will run on that console and the previous consoles before. With the PS5, they don't have that problem. They build the games from the ground up only for the PS5. There's no limitations. So please sort it out, Microsoft. Get some exclusive games for the Xbox Series X. You can still have your Game Pass and all the previous titles on their lives and machines, but you've got to get it into people's head. If you want the next gen, you have to buy a Series X, and you have to support the Series X with exclusive titles only for that console. So until the next video, it's Warric signing off. I'll see you soon.